It started really like a mental trip.
So, what specifically he did to me, and I mean, it goes back all the way to 2009 when I first attended Inner Awakening and Life Bliss Engineering. In one of the darshans, I told him that I had had a dream of being Devi. I had a dream of being the goddess, and it was a beautiful visionary dream. So I asked him about it.
First time I went to India, where in one of the darshans, which is where we all queue up to get a private blessing from him, he told me I was an incarnation of Devi. Meditation in order to clear our minds of any negative or self-destructive thoughts, so that when we went up to him in energy darshan, we would have the capacity to ask for the right thing, you know? And so, again, as cheesy as it sounds, that made perfect sense to us at the time. And we were told, if you ask for $1 million, he'll bless you. You'll get that $1 million. If you ask for, a promotion at work, you'll get it. If you want name and fame, you'll get it. If you want a beautiful relationship, you'll get it. But the best thing you can ask for is to be with him in this November or December for a program called Life Bliss Engineering or a program called Inner Awakening. Life Bliss Engineering is $8,000, 3 months. Inner Awakening is $6,000, 21 days. The best thing you can ask for is to have that experience. And so when he went up for his Kalpavriksha blessings, they had it in their mind that the best thing they could ask for in the world is to attend his program in India. And so that's when this idea got planted in us.
Is because if anybody actually understands psychology and looks at his teachings and his behaviors, it will become painfully obvious that he is a narcissistic psychopath trying to use his disciples for sexual gratification and for ego boosting, and that he tries to be like a puppet master. So what specifically he did to me, and I mean, it goes back all the way to 2009 when I first attended Inner Awakening and Life Bliss Engineering. In one of the darshans, I told him that I had had a dream of being Devi. I had a dream of being the goddess.
And so that's when the weird kind of craziness started.
Actually, there were over 3 years where I didn't see Swamiji, 3 years and 3 months. From February 2012 until May 2015.
Had a psychotic break.
Early 2015, my mother decided she had to get to Inner Awakening and finally see Swamiji.
All of his love bombing back then.
Okay.
But I was a little embarrassed to tell her that I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to come because I had actually been sent out.
Until
that's why it happened.
The time he started the sexual abuse in 2016.
Actually, there were over 3 years where I didn't see Swamiji, 3 years and 3 months. From February 2012 until May 2015. Early 2015, my mother decided she had to get to Inner Awakening and finally see Swamiji. And I was a little embarrassed to tell her that I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to come because I had actually been sent out.
That's why it happened. It was 2012. I'm just saying what has happened to me. It has absolutely nothing to do with who I am now. That old Free Yourself book isn't even available for purchase. The copy Ralph showed in his rant of a YouTube video trying to defame me doesn't even exist. It was a prototype. He put his lunatic writings about worshiping my feet in it, not because I wanted it there, but because he bullied me into believing that was what Nityananda wanted, because he had private message inbox blessings from Nityananda. In fact, I don't even have anything against Ralph. In his own way, he's probably trying to do what he thinks is right for the world. From 2012, when I knew this person called Ralph Napirsky, who claims to be a Catholic bishop, at that time, Nityananda had blessed Ralph Napirsky on Facebook. Nityananda had told our mutual friend Jasmine Glow, who at that time was Ma Nitya Vibhuti, the Mahant of Slovakia, he told her to make Ralph part of Sangha. And he told her, to work with him. And when Ralph sent Nityananda a Facebook message saying, I want to make Ma Nitya Sudevi, the head of my mission, what did Nityananda reply? He gave a thumbs up and said blessings. And so I got pulled into this other pseudo cult while I was in the Nityananda cult.
There were over 3 years where I didn't see Swamiji, 3 years and 3 months, from February 2012 until May 2015. Early 2015, my mother decided she had to get to Inner Awakening and finally see Swamiji. And I was a little embarrassed to tell her that I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to come because I had actually been sent out.
That's why it happened. It was 2012. But I got caught up in that because Nityananda gave a stupid mixed message to Vibhuti and me, telling us to do it. Once I realized that Ralph had his own agenda, that he was telling me I was the mother of unity and that I was supposed to unite all the different, sects of Christianity, I realized I don't want this. And I left his silly one and God cult and I denounced it publicly on Facebook and on YouTube. I deleted anything that I had connected to him. I rewrote the Free Yourself book without that crazy shit at the end that was Bishop Ralph's edition, not mine. So for Drida to put that into a video, saying that I'm a Christian missionary and that I'm doing a U-turn back to Christianity, I just want to say the only allegiance I have ever had with Christianity since I first denounced the Catholic Church when I was 8 years old and went vegetarian and thought, well, this is bullshit. I don't believe in the Bible if the Bible says kill and eat animals. The only connection I've had with Christianity since then was a total confusion based on something that Nityananda said while I was brainwashed by him. So yeah, Nityananda's brainwashing is the only thing that led me into that Catholic excursion.
My entire life, even being raised Catholic, I never met a priest as passionate about Christianity as these random people off the street were about Nityananda.
When I became a brahmacharini, when I took the initiation to join Nityananda's monastic order in 2015,
February 2012 until May 2015.
I think I might have had a psychotic break.
Early 2015, my mother decided she had to get to Inner Awakening and finally see Swamiji.
All of his love bombing back then.
Okay.
But
I was a little embarrassed to tell her that I don't know
December
whether or not I'm allowed to
2009.
come because I had actually been sent out.
Everybody there knew about my history with Bishop Ralph. And I even told Swamiji, as I called him then, Swamiji, I made this mistake. I believed you blessed it. And he laughed. And said it's part of the Leela.
Immediately after living enlightenment process. So the whole organization had been restructured in a way that was totally new even to me. What changed between 2010 and 2015 was that they introduced a new hierarchy into the organization.
Was gone. I felt like others were against me, like life was against me, like even the organization I was part of was against me. I felt like a victim, and that made me want to lash out against them. I started to see myself turning into an overzealous, judgmental bitch, pardon my language, and I didn't want to be that. When I looked to see, was I manifesting the goals that I've set for myself? Was I realizing higher states of consciousness? Was I more compassionate? Did I feel fulfilled in life? Again, the answer to that was no. I was living in what felt like a constant state of fear of failure. I didn't want to disappoint the people who were above me in that spiritual hierarchy. I no longer think such a thing as a spiritual hierarchy even exists. Even he's an incarnation of Shiva himself. I didn't want to contradict what he was saying and say, oops, nope, I didn't mean to put this on. I don't want to be an Adi Navasi anymore. So like that, I got bulldozed into being a residential disciple once again. And that's when the love bombing in my inbox escalated to a level I would never have previously imagined.
I just wanted to share this so that people can see that I didn't post, doctored screenshots of our conversations. The reason the screenshots that I shared of his more pornographic messages to me had a different account, that's because at the time I took those screenshots, his account was different. See, he knew that I wasn't even watching, sending them personal direct messages like this. He basically just does that with people who he has a romantic interest in.